Hi, I wanted to go ahead and get back on here and let you know a little bit about my teaching style. Like I mentioned, I have been a medical coder since around the time that DRGs came into place. So, with my background and extensive teaching background, I typically take more of a hands-on approach. Now, I know that most of you can go out and go to AAPC or AHIMA and go through their programs, and exactly what I've done. I have an RHIT, and I have my associate's degree in health information management through AHIMA, AHIMA, and then more recently, just last year in like November, I finished up my CPC and then went on to become a approved certified professional coder instructor. So I know the frustration of going through some of these online programs where you're just met with watching videos, reviewing probably about 20 or 30 pages of written material. Then it's time for some practical application, some quiz, and then the end result, an exam before you can move on to the next module. What I have found so frustrating, even with my own career, I started out as a nursing major, so I have an extensive background in the medical field. I've also worked in the field of respiratory therapy. So, with that background, that's what made it available to me to go on and become a coder so easily is because I did have that medical background. And I see that going through the AAPC program, you only have a couple of modules, medical terminology and then maybe some anatomy before you move on to going through the first chapter of the CPT book or going through the first chapters of the ICD-10. So you have to take that information that you grabbed way over here and start applying it to what you're doing. And for some that have never been in the medical field, that's really a large stretch. And I see from time to time on the Facebook groups that they're having a hard time remembering the medical terms and your anatomy. So my teaching approach is different because I want to bring to the table and combine those two things where you are receiving that medical anatomy that you need, not just medical terminology, but you really need some anatomy, and then putting it with the coding principles, the coding guidelines, and what's expected of you on an overall picture of how are we going to get this code to go through a system and be billed out correctly so that our physicians or our hospital can be reimbursed correctly. So I'm going to take you more of a holistic approach, and that's why I call my blog Medical Coders and More, because I really feel like you're more than just a medical coder, and you need to be. Medical coding, in my opinion, is a great stepping stone, and that's exactly what I've done with my career. I utilized that experience that I had in the clinical side, and then I tapped it off with my coding credentials, and then I moved on into management and things like that. But that was my chosen career path. But what I want you to know is with the CPC or with your CPCA, you can move on forward and obtain more. And that's what I really want you to be able to do. Obtain more and be positive with the results that you have. Feel more confident. And I see so many students struggling with passing the AAPC or not passing the AAPC, the CPC code or the test with, they only require a 70%. And a 70% means to me that you need to be making at least 80s on your practical exams throughout each of the sections in your CPT book to be able to allow for the nerves, allow for the stress of the day. You're going to sit for a 5-hour exam. So you need to be more confident. And that's what I want to share with you. I want to show you, not just tell you, or not just put together a video or a PowerPoint presentation, but I want to actually take you by the hand and show you how you can take medical terminology, medical anatomy, and apply it to these coding cases, and it will make a world of a difference, and you will then have a positive result. So look for the next video, and I will see you.